Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have Ty Phillips-Bond. I'm going to let him introduce himself in a little bit. I'm going to be linking my previous video where I talked about how to find people that you would prospect if you were going to build out a small business or if you're going to start your career in sales, building up a book of business. Now we're going to talk about how to build a sales cadence out. So Ty, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Ty Phillips-Bond. I am a newly licensed real estate sales agent in Columbus, Ohio. Right now, this video I would say is pretty accurate to what I'm trying to do, is build my sphere of influence and acquire clients, build my CRM to find more avenues to explore, sales to buyers, and get more listings, help investors find homes to invest in, that kind of thing.
I am not in real estate, but if you did see my intro video, it is something that I'm interested in. So Ty, I will selfishly pick your brain at points, maybe not in this video, but just in general about real estate. It's something that I'm interested in. But another point that I did make is I truly believe that business is business. So currently I am in the world of digital advertising, but I think that a lot of the principles that I have learned over 2.5 years. By the way, I'm not going to claim to be an expert in this area by any means, but I think if you do this type of cold outreach for 2.5 years, there are a lot of things that you learn. So opinions are my own. I hope that this is helpful to people. I think that if I was starting out, it would be super helpful. So let's just get right into me unapologetically talking about what I've learned over these years, and hopefully it will be help to you, the viewers, as well as Ty. When you're talking to somebody, you had mentioned that you're going to be either selling houses or apartments or really anywhere for them to live. So this is something that I think when you are trying to build out your sales cadence, while we're not getting to the hit rates on when we're going to reach out to people, this is something that we want to think about. So we want to ask open-ended questions to people. And when you're thinking about this, you want to think about questions that you can ask to people, like, are your kids going to school? Like, what's going on? The thing that we're trying to get here is how many people are there in your family? Meaning, what kind of house or apartment are you going to need? 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, whatever the case may be. And then, of course, what is their price range? But we don't want to ask that in any rude sort of way. So these are some key pieces of information that we need to figure out before we can actually start to build out the sales cadence. The main thing that we want to get here is just an easy little code that we can have so that you can go through the different types of accounts that you have very quickly and efficiently. So we mentioned earlier, when you're going to be looking for people who we want to know if they want a house, apartment, and how many bedrooms. So just an example. So this is something that we could have like a little code here, like 2BD house all at once. And we'll talk about this in a second. We want to only reach out to people with this type of piece in the cadence. Then 8 days later, then you will do 2BD house, and then 3 this should be 3 2BD house, if that makes sense. So so the name of the game here is just finding an easy code that you can relate to. So that you're not going through the CRM like, hey, Johnny 4-bedroom house with a bathroom in the close to the living room, something like that. Like, we want to have an efficient way where we can really reach out to people and make the most touches as possible. So any questions on that? I know it is kind of straightforward, but to be honest, guys, this took me a while to kind of figure out this information. So I think that it will be valuable to you.
I think that's a really good idea and a really good point. In fact, I was thinking about that today. I made some calls on a drive yesterday, and now that I'm really a few weeks into this career, but I'm already kind of starting to pick up a few clients and trying to find the most effective way to keep them all straight. Who have I called? Who have I followed up with? Who have I followed back with?
I think that, we can always get more efficient as time goes on. And, as you and I watch Sirhan, it's good to hit the ground running. But a few things here that I think are going to help you is we want to be sure, like I said, to be as efficient as possible. And the reason for those codes is so that we can do all of these all at once. I've been fortunate enough here recently to be able to probably call about 25 accounts in an hour, but it did take me a little while to be able to do that. I would aim just at first to do about 10 accounts an hour. I think that would be a really good strategy moving to start out with. Now, another thing that I learned, and I will credit this to my previous job, is 10 calls by 10 a.m. I think that this, for me personally, and for everybody at my old company, was a great strategy to just get your day going and really get the blood pumping. How has that gone so far?
For me, being new, calling leads can be intimidating sometimes, and I don't necessarily have a lot of comfort in what to say every time. I'm trying to develop that. And so even just the idea of calling 10 people by 10 a.m., just to, like you said, get the blood flowing, get things rolling, I think that will set the rest of my day up for being comfortable. If, say they call me back, or, I reach out to somebody else later in the afternoon, I think I'll be more comfortable because of those 10 by 10.
The 10 by 10 is exactly for that. So for all of you starting out in sales, yes, it is intimidating. Just like this, me posting my first YouTube video, that was pretty intimidating. This is something that will really help you, and I think make your life a lot more enjoyable if you can just kind of get those reps in. And then always double hit. So this is something that I will also credit to my previous employer. Every single time that you call somebody, send an email as well. And that's the whole reason why we have these codes as well, is so that we can know the type of email that we're going to be sending to these types of people. Because when we send somebody an email, it might be different if they want a 3-bedroom house versus a 4-bedroom house. Now for these, we want to send out an email with, for a 2-bedroom house, and we might want to include like a few different links of 2-bedroom houses that are on the market. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? We want to make sure that we are catering the emails, but also having emails where we can do this very efficiently so that we can have as many touch points on people as possible. Yes, I realize this does sound kind of cold-hearted, etc. But if you want to be successful in this type of career starting out, I really, really think that this is a good way to go about things. And if you have any opinions on this, please leave comments in the comment section below, because we're always trying to improve here. But once we do make that first hit on, say, the 2-bedroom house, then 8 days later, we're going to make the second hit. And that's something that I figured out, is that 8-day mark. So, you call somebody on a Monday, then of course, obviously, you will call them next Tuesday if they don't get back to you. And a lot of times they won't get back to you, because we want to follow up, follow through, follow back.
That does make sense. The double hit thing is really important. I'm noticing as well. Even if it's like a call and a text saying, "Hey, I just left you a voicemail.
Exactly.
Give me a call back." I've had success with that. Or they've texted me back and said, "Now's not a good time, but please call me then," that kind of thing.
So on the first hit, we're going to have information on what we're selling for this. Sorry, and these are for emails. So for the first hit email, we're going to have information on what we're selling. So for you, houses, apartments. Hey, John Smith, this is the type of house that I'm putting on the market right now. I did hear from this person that you might be interested. Let me know. They don't get back to, "Hey, I wanted to follow up on this in case my email was buried." Easy way to say, "Hey, get back to me." And then lastly, this is probably my favorite, and I do get a lot of responses back for this. I know I'm walking the line at professionally persistent and annoying, but please let me know. And again, might sound cold-hearted, etc., but at the end of the day, we do need a response of some sort out of them, or else we're going to keep calling them anyway. Here, we finally talk to people. You had talked about this a little bit earlier. So when we contact a prospect, we write every single thing down. They have a dog named Lily. Yes, we need that. What color is the dog? How old is the dog, etc. Anything to get the prospect or the person to talk about themselves, especially because the reality is people like to bitch and brag. Those are the two things. So, they have kids in school, etc. We want to know these types of things so we can start building that relationship with them. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that real estate is normally a pretty long sales cycle. So, and unfortunately or fortunately, there are quite a lot of you. So a relationship could really take this sale across the finish line, right? So
absolutely.
anything that we get out of these people, we want to put in the CRM. And I will pat myself on the back a little bit here. I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but I've been told that I take really good notes in the CRM. And yes, I do write things about people's dogs, etc. And it is an easy way to get people talking, start break the ice, things like that, because we want to have fun with this also. And the quicker that we can build relationships, the quicker it's going to be fun with really anything that you're selling, in my opinion. And then birthdays, big, big, big thing. What's the easiest way to talk to somebody? It's on their birthday. Hey, happy birthday. How have you been? This is just a great way to see how they're doing. You never know. Maybe their cousin needs a house, etc. I personally would always hit people up on their birthdays. No matter what, whoever they are, you never know where that could lead. So that's the most exciting thing is there's no real like glass ceiling in this industry. But if we can get more efficient and build these relationships, then we will have greater success. So have you been taught anything recently, more of like how to talk to people in the real estate industry? Do you have any thoughts on this? Any questions?
When you mentioned the relationships really pushing the sale past the line, that is, from everything I've been reading, hearing from agents in the office, watching videos, is because there is so much competition. You have to look at it more as you're not competing with the other agents, the thousands of other agents, but you're competing with yourself and how good of a relationship you can build with a customer. And if the relationship comes first, the recommendations, the sales, the testimonials, the referrals will follow.
Exactly. And one thing, when I was looking at an apartment for a short amount of time, that a real estate agent did for me is I actually referred one of my colleagues to her. And then the next thing I knew, I had a Starbucks gift card like in my email. And you know what? Like, the thing is, once I got that gift card, I was like, yeah, I'm like for sure going to recommend anybody that I know to her. It just like was that one extra step. Like, no matter how we think about it, we are in a competitive industry. Somebody says email me. What I do is I put a task in for the next day, and then I will follow up with them in the morning. The name of the game here, as I was mentioning earlier, is to just get through as many accounts as possible with the same objective. So when somebody says email me, for me personally, this has worked for me not to go ahead and email them right that second, unless it is urgent, because a lot of times people are not going to be buying something within the next 48 hours, right? It's like, email me, I might be interested in a few months. So we can let that wait till tomorrow and get through the rest of the accounts that we have with the same email cadence. So that's something that I would recommend before you do your 10 by 10 is do all of those emails. You talk to somebody, they say, email me, then do those emails in the morning. That's just what works for me, or figure something out. And then once we get into contact with somebody, we know their birthday, we know their cat's name, etc., then we can start putting them on a drip campaign. And for me personally, what I've started to do is I send emails out every quarter to just keep people in the loop on, what my organization is doing. And you can do the same thing, and you could even cater this to, people with those 2-bedroom apartments, 3-bedroom apartments, 4-bedroom apartments, like whatever the case may be. You can send them out for fall, winter, spring, and summer. This is just what I've figured out. Happy holidays. By the way, I have these houses on the market. This is what I've been doing. I did this close, I did that close. And then you'll see a theme here. Always email them on their birthdays.
Yeah, I just wrote down what you mentioned about the quarterly updates. I don't want it to be okay, great, I got what I wanted out of you. A transaction is complete. Now I'm going to move on. And I don't even say that just so that I can get another transaction out of them.
Right.
I truly would like to build a relationship that lasts past the transaction, because it's just kind of the person I am. I'm not trying to hit it and quit it.
Right, exactly. And the reality is, in my opinion, I think that everything follows after that. So I think that you have the right mindset. And honestly, that's exactly what I'm trying to get in more of the mindset of, because I've kind of moved from that, smile and dial type of sales rep, moving into that more relationship based initiative here. And it just makes it a lot more enjoyable to be, following up with people that enjoy talking to you, et cetera, rather than smiling and dialing. But the reality is we do have to smile and dial at some points.
I honestly got a lot of pretty good notes here that I think are going to be helpful. One of my main goals this upcoming week, once I make up for the weekend, and catch up with some clients that I need to set up some listing or set up some showings for. I'm going to workshop my structure of my days. You mentioned Ryan Serhant earlier, and you actually, of course, turned me on to him. And he talks really big about, structuring your day for success, not just to follow up, follow back, follow through, but even down to, just literally what you do each hour of each day. And this career is the first time I'll be needing to structure in that way. But I am already picturing and experiencing how it's going to be beneficial.
I would totally recommend, I'm sure you already have this, an electronic calendar. And I'm just going to show you a glimpse of what mine looks like. So right here, just as Ryan Serhant talked about, I am working out in the mornings. As you can see here, right when I get into my day, it's grind time. It's time to start doing those outreaches. And this is just what works for me. You figure out what works for you. But then, as you can see, everything else is color coded here. So we have our team meetings, and then the orange is intro calls. Like for you, it could be, showings. And then pink is a follow-up meeting or a second meeting or a third meeting or something like that. So that's just kind of a little glimpse into how I've become organized.
Yeah, Matt, I appreciate you including me in this. I gained some valuable information and enjoyed reaping the benefits of your 2.5 years of experience.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's only up, all up from here. So yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime, and we're going to keep in touch for sure.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, man. See ya.